Welcome back here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. All right, so in Mooresville, officials there, law enforcement there, looking to address gang-related activity regarding young people. Our Jesse Pierre is following this story. Jesse, there was a press conference earlier. Talk about what you learned there and what did you find out?
Hey Nick, so yes, the Mooresville Police Department did hold a press release conference at this apartment complex that is along Lake Glen Drive in Mooresville. And on December 12th, there was an incident around 9 o'clock at night where they say they received several calls about a shootout going on there. And during their investigation, they found two males that were walking up on Lark Glen Drive towards another area, who said that they had two people, or they said that two people were shooting at them. Continued investigation, they found that one of those individuals returned fire. His home, just and through surveillance and so forth, but this his home was checked and searched and so forth. And they found three different weapons or three guns there. The male was under 18 years old, and there was also video footage showing that this person also shot back or did some level of shooting throughout the whole thing. They did confirm when it comes to like the three guns that were recovered, one of them was stolen. One of them had the serial numbered on it changed, and they say that it's gang related because someone else who was in the area, the chief says, showed up and told one of their officers that they told the officers that their boy was in a shootout and they came out to help. And that person was a known gang member. And they said that one of the individuals who was involved in the shooting was going through the process of becoming part of a gang. Now, the frustration for the police chief is that, following the detainment of this 17-year-old, they requested a secured custody order for that individual, and that wasn't approved. And the chief saying that that has been the frustrating thing, partnering with the juvenile justice, because they have a list of different violent acts or criminal activities that does involve youth, yet they don't have the backing to actually keep them out of society. And so that 17-year-old is back in the community. Nick?
All right, Jesse, thank you. You can catch Jesse at 5 and 6 o'clock this evening. Again, Jesse, thank you for your time there. All right, as Jesse mentioned, there was a press conference earlier today. We heard from law enforcement officials. In case you missed it, let's take you there now.
Good morning. I appreciate everybody coming out. My name's Ron Camperciani. I'm the police chief here in Mooresville. Let me just introduce you to who I have standing behind me. To my far right is Detective Bradley Cook, who worked on this incident we're going to talk about. To his left is Commissioner Will Avens, this is his ward down here. To his left is another commissioner who's on the Public Safety Commission, Frank Owens. To his left is Assistant Chief Jamie Quinn, who's over CID. And to his left is First Assistant Chief Joe Cook, who's over patrol. I'm going to read a prepared statement that you all get, and then I'm going to talk a little more about some stuff, and then I will take questions. On December 12th, 2025, at approximately 9:04 p.m., the Mooresville Police Department received several phone calls from concerned citizens stating that they had heard several gunshots in the area of Lake Glen Drive in Mooresville, which is where we are right now. Along with the phone calls, Mooresville Police Department also received an alert of gunshots from ShotSpotter, an acoustic gunshot detection system. Officers arrived on the scene and located several spent shell casings in the middle of the road on Lake Glen Drive. During the investigations, detectives determined two males were walking up Lake Glen Drive towards Selma Drive when they are fired upon by two subjects lying in wait by another apartment building. Detectives talked with both males, who stated they did not know who fired upon them, and they did not fire back. Both suspects stated that they ran back to an apartment on Lake Glen Drive after they were fired upon. While talking with both subjects near the apartment on Lake Glen Drive, there was a strong odor of marijuana coming from the apartment. Detectives reviewed surveillance footage and determined that one of the males fired a weapon as he ran back to the apartment on Lake Glen Drive. The male is under the age of 18 and is not allowed to possess a firearm. A search warrant was executed at the apartment on Lake Glen Drive, and 3 firearms were located inside. One of the firearms was confirmed stolen. Another firearm was found to have a serial number that had been altered. During the investigations, detectives confirmed that the incident was gang-related due to documented gang members arriving at the incident location. The facts surrounding this incident were presented to the Department of Public Safety, Juvenile Justice, and Delinquency Protection, which did not issue a secured custody order for any of the involved juveniles. So, that last statement is what we're here to talk about today. We recovered 19 shell casings in this area from that shootout. 19. We received 7 calls from residents in this apartment complex. 7 residents that had to hide in their apartments because there was just gunfire going on, and literally something like the OK Corral shootout was going on down here. We appreciate the people that called. One woman was in the parking lot when this shooting was going on. She had to sweep up her child in her arms and run into the house. You've all been doing this a long time. You work in Charlotte, you've talked to things. You know that these bullets sometimes go through windows, go through doors, and hit people, innocent people in apartments. And that's what we're worried about here. These knuckleheads, most of the time, hit everything but what they're aiming at. They just fire indiscriminately. Now, the whole point of this press conference is that several years ago, this police department came up with a very strategic and comprehensive plan to come up with ways to make this community as safe as we could make it. We knew that the growth was going to be exponential in here, and we knew with that comes a certain amount of crimes. So we spent a lot of money, we spent a lot of man hours, we put a lot of thought into what we need to do. What we didn't plan on, what we thought we had a partner, was with the juvenile justice system. So what all that means when I said that is that at the end of the day, they let that person come back here that had the firearms, that was involved in the shooting. They just let them come back here because according to them, it didn't meet their criteria. Well, if 19 shots in an area like this that you can see does not rise to their criteria, I'd like to know what their criteria is. We get asked, there isn't a day that goes by that I'm not asked, Chief, why are you doing this? Why did you guys do this? Why they didn't do this? Emails, phone calls, people stop in, whatever. We get asked daily, and that's part of our job. It's part of public service. This juvenile justice is part of public employees. They work for the public, they work for all of us, and for some reason, they don't feel like they have to answer these questions. It's outrageous, and it's an affront to the people that live here. We're talking about people that feel disenfranchised anyway, and this just adds to it. What they come to me for answers, what am I supposed to tell them? We've done everything we can and let these kids go back in. It's outrageous, and somebody needs to answer for it. I'm hoping that some of you will ask those questions to them, because we certainly don't get, that's all we get. We get, well, it doesn't meet our criteria, and they hang up on us. That's the end of the conversation. Like I said, it's outrageous. I'll take your questions.
Did you apprehend the suspect?
Yeah, we had him in custody, and that's because he's a juvenile. We brought him back to the station, and then as part of our duties, we have to, notify juvenile justice. It's almost like, it'd be like a magistrate. We call a magistrate to set bail, right? And they determine, and that's what they told us. Well, it's not in our criteria, so we're not going to hold them. Like I said, I don't know what their criteria is, but 19 shots, people firing back and forth, 3 stolen guns. And not only that, let me just address something else. We call stuff gangs sometimes and people get all offended. So let me tell you what else happened. Why this was going on, a known gang member did show up with his mother in a car with a gun and told our officers, well, I showed up here because my boys said they were in a shootout, so I was coming to help them. So it's gang related. Somebody gets offended by it, they can call me later on. It was gang related. So, people have a right to live here and be safe in their homes, and we've done everything we can to try to do that. Like I said before, we can't do all parts of criminal justice system, right? We expect to have partners in this. We don't have any partners right now. That's outrageous.
So once you apprehended this person, how old was he?
17.
Okay. After you apprehended him and the justice system said he didn't meet their criteria, then did you have to release him again?
Yeah, he came back here, came right back to the apartment, went right back to the place where we took the 3 guns out of.
Chief, just to be clear, he was a known gang member too?
Yeah, he's
Brad, step up here.
as far to answer your question, he is in the process of being validated as a gang member.
And there was another one with him, there was another person, was he not charged for taking the juvenile?
So none of we had some other charges. We were gonna, this is still an ongoing investigation. We expect to have more charges. That was the easiest one because it was his apartment. We saw him with the gun. We saw him on the video firing it. That was pretty simple. We were looking for related charges. We still are, but we're not expecting much to come from that.
Are there other crimes that these gang members are involved in? This is bad. This shooting is terrible. Are there other incidents that they're involved in outside of this?
We believe so. Like I said, for the fact that one guy showed up with a gun because he heard his boys were in a shootout, so he was coming there to help them. And I can't tell you. Hold on a second. Where was it coming? What was the showcase? The gun? That's the showcase. So some of the show casings that we recovered, some of them were involved in a Lee Street shooting that we had down at the Lee Street Park not too long ago. We believe some others were connected with Charlotte. We're still trying to make those connections with the show casings we recovered. So, yeah, these guns are finding their way all over the place. Yes, sir.
Chance your department to provide some pictures of the shell casings, the gun that you see, some of that stuff, so we can use that for our coverage.
Sure, we can get that. Right, Jamie, we can get that to you. I'm going to let Will Avens come up here and speak because he represents this community and he's as outraged as I am, I believe. Go ahead, Dan.
Based on your experience as a chief in another part of the country, does it seem like this area is not up to the standards of other parts of the country with juveniles?
Well, listen, what I can say is this, there's always a thing with juvenile justice, right? And it's usually the crimes, right? It's usually the sentences that go with it. It's usually what I've been used to most of the time is, they don't get sentences. I've used the analogy, it's kind of like going through life with Monopoly money, right? It really doesn't mean anything. That was really sort of the complaints that I've had over the years. It's just the sentencing. But I've never seen it where they just release these people, especially something like this. Like I've said, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but if firing in this place, and they were down farther down, if you want to, it's up to you if you want to ride down there later, but it's sort of close down there, and you have 19 shots, and they're just.
All right, so we want to move from that press conference again. Just PS, you'll have more later this evening on that press conference from Mooresville Police, but